PK in the universe, and I am back again with another video. And today I want to do a little bit of a discussion video on independently developed games, or also sometimes called homebrew games. I want to talk about these specific types of games. You know, games that were created by really small teams. Maybe it was just a one solo dev. These games, and I want to talk about AliExpress. I saw a tweet today and it really kind of disturbed me and rubbed me the wrong way. I've talked about supporting small indie devs before on this channel, and this is not a rehash of that video necessarily. This is to talk about another dark aspect of this, and that is piracy, you know, and bootlegging of independent developers' games. I saw this tweet from Joe J Games, and it really troubled me. I have to read this to you guys. So Joe said, "This champ is selling pirated Game Boy indie dev games. Anyone had success raising complaints with AliExpress about this kind of thing can't contact a seller." Classic Gaming Accessories, I guess, is the name of this particular seller on AliExpress. So yeah, Joe J Games makes Tales of the Motherland, and Fall from Space is the most recent one of his games. And yeah, so I looked at that page. I went and actually, you know, sifted through to see what was in this particular seller's page, this AliExpress seller over in China. And I was really shocked to see there were tons. It wasn't just this guy, you know, having his game pirated and bootlegged. It was tons of other small indie developers, a lot of fellow people who put games on like itch.io and stuff like that. You know, people I've bought stuff on who have games on Evercade. In fact, one of those games actually is going to be on Indie Heroes 3, actually, next year when that comes out on Evercade. And there was one in particular that really rubbed me the wrong way, and that was Good Boy Galaxy was on there. I talked about that in one of my more recent videos. I talked about how I got it on Evercade recently, and I've played quite a bit of it, and I've had so much fun. And you can actually buy this game on itch.io for like 20 bucks, actually. It's a Game Boy Advance game, and it's truly a labor of love. You can tell these folks who worked on this, you know, put their heart and soul into this, and then there's some goofball who's bootlegging it for like $5 or something, you know, and it's like, and they haven't even released physical cartridges. The creators of Good Boy Galaxy haven't even released physical cartridges. They're doing some cool little, you know, complete unbox stuff, you know, and it's going to look really great. Part of me didn't even want to make this video. Part of me is like, oh, why even draw attention to this? And it's like, yes, on one hand, there's some people are going to see this and be like, oh, I'm just going to pirate it, you know, order a copy from AliExpress so I don't have to pay the creator. There's people like that out there, unfortunately. But you know what the thing is? Pirates are going to pirate, no matter what you do. You know, if somebody finds a way to pirate something, some people will just be like, I gotta pirate it. And I get it, that piracy is a nuanced conversation. You know, I get that some people want to rail against Nintendo, the billion-dollar corporation, or Microsoft, the trillion-dollar tech company, you know, and stick it to them. I get it. I totally understand why people do that stuff. But why would you steal from an indie dev, you know, like these folks? These are people who, you know, might be lucky to sell 1,000 games, honestly. Whereas, you know, Microsoft will sell into the millions, you know. And, you know, this is, you know, a labor of love and a thing they're really doing and actually care more about, you know, the people buying their games than Microsoft or Nintendo's ever going to. And it's like watching somebody steal from a small business. That's the best way I can describe it, really. And it rubs me the wrong way and pisses me off. So I want to make this video talking about, hey, you know, it's like maybe you are somebody who really is interested in, for example, Good Boy Galaxy. Maybe you saw, maybe these AliExpress sellers are also putting this stuff up on eBay, or maybe people are buying it from AliExpress and putting it on eBay. So, you know, be careful about what you're buying, you know, and make sure that it's an honest and legitimate cartridge, for example, you know. And if you do see these kind of things, you know, like it's like a AliExpress seller, you know, selling on eBay, you know, report them on eBay, obviously. Obviously, with eBay, we can report stuff. AliExpress, I don't know how you report stuff. It's kind of wild and kind of a free-for-all there. And in fact, the creator of Good Boy Galaxy had actually tried to, like, I don't know, like fight this or whatever. They like declined it or something. Like they had tried to report it. And yeah, so what can indie developers do? Obviously, I've told you guys a problem, but what's the solution? There's not a lot like I can do or you can do, really. I mean, other than if you see something and you have the ability to report it, of course. I hate to say this. This is like really the only real solid option. The problem with, you know, original Game Boy games or NES games or Sega Genesis games, and, you know, or any kind of like, you know, old school retro, independently developed games. The problem is, obviously the security's not great. The security's not great on a Game Boy cart. It's easy to, take a ROM, and a lot of, developers, of course, actually put their games on itch.io for free, actually. And you have the option, you can pay them $1, $2, $5, whatever, whatever you want, or don't pay them at all and just, try it out first, or, well, you can do whatever you want, really, So that actually, helps, more people who, if they get a game and they're like, oh, I really love this game, I definitely want to give that creator something, then they can do that. And then some people, of course, do actually sell their games for full price, or maybe they put it on sale sometimes or whatever. But it's, it sucks because, that's exactly what's happened. Somebody probably just bought the ROM or lifted the ROM from somewhere and just put it on a cartridge over in China. I think personally, the only thing I can think of is the best option would be to get your classic games such as Game Boy, NES, Genesis, whatever, and get them on modern platforms first. Now, that's going to take a lot more time though, I'm sure, because I'm not sure the process of, having an emulator built into it to play on, said, something like a Nintendo Switch, something like my Xbox or PlayStation 5 or 4 or whatever. Yeah, obviously getting them on modern platforms would be the quickest way to probably make a little more money and then eventually get it on the platform it was originally intended for. I think you'd see a lot less. Obviously, you're not going to see Nintendo Switch games getting bootlegged like that, or the less of it anyways. It'd be really unusual. To make sure independent developers, get the most money they can, I think that's what they probably should go about doing. But again, maybe they don't have the money or the finances to get it to that point. Plus, stuff like Switch and Steam is just so flooded with independently developed games, it's kind of hard to stand out too. So I totally get maybe why they wouldn't want to go through the effort. And I don't know, what percentage they have to give to Nintendo or whatever. So I get it. I get why somebody might not do that. But that's about the only thing I can think of. And of course, when you see these people who are selling somebody else's, independent game that they put their heart and soul in, yeah, perhaps report it if you see it. And perhaps don't buy these kind of things, And I understand from the consumer standpoint, maybe you want that game or whatever, but it's sold out on that store or whatever, that physical copy. But still, don't do it. I mean, if you're going to buy a bootleg, you'd be better off to go buy the ROM and put it on another device and play it any way you want, honestly, than to do that, So yeah, it just really pissed me off when I saw that. So I wanted to make a video talking about that. Just the main basic gist of this video is be careful where you buy stuff and support small independent developers the way you'd want to support your local business, So that's all the time I have for today. What are your guys' thoughts? What's your favorite homebrew or independently developed game? Comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks.